Welcome back to the Odyssey Strength Podcast. You are joined by your host, Jackson Mansoudi, and co-host,
Yiannis.
We hope you guys enjoy the podcast. This is a perfect time for you guys to hit that subscribe button, follow, share in your stories, support the mission one way or another. And if you're interested in coaching, you can always go to the website or you can DM us on Instagram. Let's get into the episode.
There we go.
It's not about doing it right. It's about who you become on the journey of doing it.
It's about the Odyssey.
Yeah, it's about, bro, I've actually been going hard with the whole Odyssey thing. Like, I've been actually trying to market the whole mantra of it.
Well, I think everyone understands what it is. I think it's just how you package it. Like, everyone has gone through a journey some way or another. Like, whichever way you want to put it, whether you've started, at Pilates and you end up training 4 or 5 times a week, or you started with gymnastics 4 or 5 times a week, you end up doing gym, or like us, we wanted to be athletes and then you end up at the gym. There's always a way to something. And even if that doesn't sound like you, like none of that's you realize you go from nothing, you're a couch potato, or you're just doing nothing, you end up in the gym. There's a process of getting there.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been saying it a lot to my clients as well, and just on Instagram, it's like, you look at the before and after of a photo and where someone starts and where they end up. And obviously that after is always a little bit, not a little bit, but it's always a lot better.
Yeah.
But I'm a big believer, if you're going to take that Odyssey, that journey, or that path, you can't.
So good.
And it feels
Sounds
really
good.
good, eh? You can't be that person in the after photo unless you're the person in the before photo. Like, you literally need to be that before to get to the after. So it's like, whether you're trying to become an athlete like us, or whether you're trying to just improve your physical health, it's like you need the hero's journey. Like, everyone knows the story of the hero's journey. It starts at the bottom, and it's like you don't get to the top unless you start at the bottom. Like, if you start at the top, it's like, it's shit. How do you it's like when a perfect example of that is like when you got rich parents, they just do everything for you.
Yeah.
And like no one actually likes to be around that person.
Yeah, because
there's no lessons learned.
Yeah, the
values are not there.
Yeah, the work ethic or the appreciation. More the word appreciation is what I'm looking for. It's not there. You just do it. It's just like you might be that guy who's got really good genetics and you train like 2 or 3 times a week, or you have never trained and you look phenomenal, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna be a PT now.
Yeah.
But you don't know what it's like.
Yeah, and everyone gets fucked off of that guy because they're like, well, it's easy for you. Like, you just got it. And it's like...
And it is easy.
And it is. That's just the way the word works. But, like, that person will only get so far, because I feel like the person who has the genetics but also has the work ethic is going to get further. And then the person who has a combination of both or the work ethic is probably still going to get further.
And even the person, with no genetic predisposition to success, who just will not take no for an answer and just works, is even better.
Well, I mean, look at the conversation we were having before, right? Where we're just talking about the changes in the physique. For me, it's like we were expecting me to look a certain way. Obviously, just because we'd seen sort of what I looked like lean before.
Yeah.
And now we're just like, wow, like there's so many differences in terms of what's been brought up, what's been built, and how that's changed. And you're just like, well, where did that come from? And you're like, oh, well, we've fucking been working on this for 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, this has been a decision since post, just after the photo shoot, which was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
almost to the day, I think.
Yeah, to the day.
Around this month-ish.
November 5th was the photo shoot.
We went in November to Melbourne.
To Melbourne? No, I did the photo shoot in November. We would have gone to Melbourne around August, September.
Oof.
Yeah. So the idea of wanting to compete was been in my mind since then. I've already got the shows after this sorted. I already know when I'm competing again.
We're not releasing that information.
No, not yet.
Competitor analysis.
Yeah, competitor analysis.
But yeah, it is a journey. Whichever way you want to package it, whether you want to call it something fancy or not, journey, Odyssey, your path, whatever you want to call it, whatever
story,
resonates with you,
whatever it is.
it's the same thing.
Fuck, we came out of the gates whole with that one.
Yeah, it's nice.
Well, I think that really is a really good segue into what today's podcast is really going to be about, which is our own story and where we've come from and how we've gotten to where we've gotten. And it's funny. Again, we're on the way here and we're talking about how long we've been PTing.
Yeah.
It's like we started 4 years ago.
Yeah. It's
How old were you when you started PT?
21. 21. I had my 21st birthday in lockdown.
Yeah.
With my 20 people. And then I was like, I think after that I started in November or something.
Yeah, I think I started September, October.
And I was
Level 1?
No, bro, I was 20 because I had my birthday in lockdown. So I was 20 and then I had I finished my course.
Yeah.
Course, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, Cert 3 and 4.
I got papers that said I can go and train people.
You got certificates that allows you to register for insurance to train.
Yeah. I didn't know
literally
what I was doing, but that's besides the point.
I mean, anyone who does the Cert 3 and 4 doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah. So did that and then did level 1 fitness first. I think I started November 5th.
Yeah.
Did that for literally a month.
Oh, really?
And then first lockdown. And then they were like, all right, well, you can go train people at the park. And I was like, excuse me?
Were you with the mentor at the time?
Yes.
And he was telling you?
He was pushing me, yeah. I had a mentor at the time. And he was pushing me to do park sessions and all that kind of stuff. But I was super, super hesitant, obviously, because, I didn't know how to train people in the gym effectively, let alone with limited equipment in a park.
Yeah.
It was a really big whirlwind for me. I was just like, if this is what PT is going to be like, I don't want anything to do with it. I was like, this is disgusting.
It's like, it's as they say, you don't break the rules until you know them well enough to break them.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're like, I don't even know the fucking rules and I'm here breaking them. You know what I mean?
I was like, this is ridiculous. I had my little golf and I was throwing equipment in there.
Bro, yeah, fuck.
But I didn't even have anything good because at the time, everyone was buying stuff online.
And it was through the roof.
Through the roof, but also
was this the first lockdown?
The first one.
This is the first. See, the first one for me.
You were good.
No, well, yeah, because
I equipped.
No, I was. It was so. I did my very first day of level 1, and we closed the gym.
Yeah.
So I rocked up at Sylvania Fitness first. Yeah. So I was like, literally, they're like, your contract for sales is over, day 1 of your level 1. So if anyone that doesn't know, level 1 is a model that Fitness First used to do, where you were still employed by Fitness First. You were basically told to sell packs.
You work 15 hours a week.
You work 15 hours a week, and the rest is you use to build your business. So it was basically like a ramp up period so that you could build your business, and then you'd technically go to what is now just normal, which is level 2. And you'd pay rent. Yeah. So it was my first day level 1, and they're like, "Yeah, cool. Can you help us close the gym?" I'm like, "Yeah." So, but I had no clients.
So yeah.
So I was on what was the one? Job keeper, job seeker, whatever. The one they had the first time.
Yeah.
Where it was just relief for people. Oh, you just still got paid.
Job keeper.
Yeah, you just still got paid. Like there was a subsidy for the companies, and the companies still paid their employees.
Job keeper.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that Centrelink, so.
Yeah. So I just did that for the first time. So my first lockdown,
lucky.
I was just cruising.
Yeah.
And I just trained in my garage.
I wish I had that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then after that period, I got a job at Centrelink, working here in the city.
Wow. So you went from PT to Centrelink?
Well, I was so uncomfortable with the idea, and I had no way of getting new clients. I was a really fresh PT.
Yeah, what the fuck were you going to do? You didn't know how to market yourself.
And do you want to come train with me in my bands and my twisty lock dumbbell? Twist lock dumbbells, bro? They only go up to 15 kilos.
I mean, these days we could probably do a lot with that.
Now,
yeah.
I could do full gel workout with that. But back then, I was like, all I know is curls, a row, a press, and things like that. I was doing dumbbell press off the floor, just a shit situation. So I was like, one of my clients at the time, she got me a job at Centrelink.
Yeah, no.
Labor hire. So I wasn't employed by Australian government. It was through a recruitment company. That's how it was so easy to get the job. Because there was this massive influx of people who didn't have jobs, and they needed
work. Yeah,
they needed to process all these claims for Centrelink.
I remember, bro,
So,
being on the phone with him.
I went. It was like a fast track learning. We did 11 days of learning within
Wow.
4 days.
It's funny what can happen when you got a bit of like pressure under you.
They were like, if you don't do this, you have to go. Like you either do the training or you're out.
I mean, it would have been like everyone needs jobs, right? And
Yeah.
and they needed workers. So it's like
Yeah.
if you can't do it, it's like there's 20 people outside waiting for you.
About 200.
Yeah, exactly.
It was crazy. Like it was literally word of mouth to get the job. And then I stayed there until I think I stayed there for about 7 months
Yeah.
till like July, and then it kind of opened up, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't leave. And then I tried to do both at the same time, and I was like, "No, I can't do this," because I was really, really stressed. Like
You're dealing with people's lives. The amount of sob stories you would have heard on a daily
it was
basis.
honestly like I'm not one to lean on mental health a lot, but like it was intense. Like I was depressed to a fraction where it was like you listen to people be like, I'm not going to eat today because you didn't pay me.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit. I was like, I can't do this. I got to get out of here.
Yeah, fair enough.
And they at the time, obviously things were opening up, and they were like, you either come on as full time, so as an employee, like we can make you an employee.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, government job, like that'd be pretty good. But I was like, well, what about PT? I was like, because at the time I was doing PT in the morning and then after work as well.
Yeah, wow.
So it was a lot. Like,
Yeah.
made good money, obviously.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the life that I wanted. I was like, this is not, I did PT to not work in an office.
Yeah.
And
And not only that, it's like, obviously.
It's not fulfilling.
Look, let's just call a spade a spade. Everyone here wants to make money.
Yeah.
Like we're not in this job. Like we're not doing fitness to make, like we're not in this. We didn't go to fitness and be like, I'm going to go fitness because I want to make money.
Yeah.
No one does that. No one goes into PT being like, I'm going to go to PT to make money. You're like, no, I do it because I enjoy it. It's not an office job. It's not what everyone else is doing. I get to run a business. And in the process of that, if I become really good at my job, then of course I'm going to make money.
Yeah.
And it's just really interesting that you say that because you had the option to stay there where you would have probably made really good money for your age and you probably would have progressed.
Yeah, like, I was the youngest in the office.
Yeah.
And, I worked, it was like 7:30 to 3:30. So it was changing shifts. It was really flexible.
Oh, that's pretty good hours.
Yeah, so it was either 7:30 to 3:30, 8:30 to 4:30, 9:30 to 5:30. So depending on what you wanted to do, you put your preferences in and they give you your schedule a week ahead.
Yeah.
So like flexible, good money, probably to like, obviously I don't want to shit on Centrelink because they do a lot of good, but very micromanaged, like clock on for your 15-minute break, clock back off, clock back on, clock back off. Like can't be a minute late because then you have to make it up. Like
really,
yeah, very, because you're answering phones, right? So everything is according to
time based.
But there'd be a time where the first call would drop in straight away. You hit ready on your little phone thing, first call comes in.
Wow.
They just you take a second to type your note, so you change from like busy, from available to busy. A call will come in just as you're changing. So like it was just go, and I was like, I can't do this. This is not for me. Otherwise, I would have gone and done this as a career. Like if I want, career is a loose term, a job.
Yeah.
Right. I would have gone and done this. I would have progressed through the model of working as a person at Centrelink or whatever it is, government. But I didn't want that. So then I left and went back to PT, and I struggled again. Because I just didn't know kind of like what to do. People were in the gym, they weren't in the gym. So I bought heaps of equipment.
Because we were still not sure where we were going to be open or not.
No, I had no idea.
And we shut down again. For longer.
Yeah.
For longer.
So I had all the equipment then, which was okay.
Yeah.
So then I started doing park sessions. I was driving around. I was driving from my place to Bondi and back. I was getting sent home from Bondi like every 2 days. They were checking licenses and shit. Like it was pretty wild.
Yeah, it was full on time. It was fucking crazy.
And then I was just like, I'm just gonna not have my license on me. I was like, I'm not getting sent home again today.
Yeah, fair.
I was moving from park to park to park to park to park, and it'd be fucking raining. It was the middle of winter. It was freezing, and then
we did get lucky with that weather though.
Yeah,
all things considered, when you look at the weather now, like if it was like that, we'd been fucked.
Yeah.
We got super lucky.
There was a time as well where I was like, all right, I'm going to go to clients' houses. I was like, I'm going to drive to their house and I'm just going to do the session at their house. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not unloading and going sitting in a park.
Bro, it was so tiring.
Yeah, it definitely
It's character building.
made me appreciate what it's like to be in the gym.
Yeah.
As soon as the gym went back open, I was like, holy shit. But people were weird again. Like, it's just that.
Yeah, there was that buffer period where people were like, oh, wipe this down, don't touch this, don't cough there, don't have your towel there. It's like,
yeah, and then I guess after that, I went to stand out, met Ben and Jace and all that, got some mentorship experience, and then rekindled my love for you when we met again when you moved to Bondi.
Yeah. So, out of curiosity, like, I mean, take COVID out of it, and take lockdown out of it. How hard were your first 2 years?
A long piece of string.
Yeah.
It was just, I guess.
What was your mindset? What was your mentality
in the first 2 years?
Yeah, like, what were you just like? I need clients. I thought
it was going to be a lot easier. I thought it was going to be way easier.
Oh,
it was
really?
going to be like, I thought, well, the way that the training organizations make it seem is you have, like, let's say this is a clipboard, my phone, and you go, I'm a registered trainer. This is what I look like. And you're going to have a line of people waiting to train with you.
Yeah.
That's what they make it seem like. There's no talk about business. There's no talk about, like, you can, like, I went from having 20 sessions in a week to 5 in 1 week.
Yeah. I think it happens to everyone.
And all that money goes. And I was like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I was like, I don't want to work as a PT. There was heaps of days, bro. I was like, I would cry because I was just so frustrated that nothing was happening. Still less than what I cry now. I'm just joking. But I was just frustrated. I was like, and at the time people were like, oh, it's a slog and this and that. And I was like, it can't be like this.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like this.
I mean, it doesn't need to be.
No.
It doesn't need to be. Like, but I think if you're by yourself like we were, I was the same, bro.
It was a weird thing because we were both doing the same thing.
Yeah, bro, like, the people that I was around was also very, like, just pump work, work, like 80-hour weeks and don't get paid.
Yeah.
And that was the mindset I was in for a very long time. And I mean, we know us, right? Like, we hold ourselves to an extremely high standard, so it's like when you're not meeting that, it's like, I'll fail. Yeah, you're not good enough. Why am I doing this sort of thing? But I remember I went home every day and I was like, fuck. I cried, I reckon, every day in my first year. Like, proper year. Like, take lockdown out of it. But like the first year of coaching and trying to get clients and whatever, even 2, it was just like rough every single day.
Yeah.
And you get told no every single day. And you're just like, it's like how we say, your environment is everything. And it's like when your environment is just being told no, you're like, how can you think positively in this environment? It's fucking so... look, I'm not going to sit here and say PT is one of the hardest jobs or whatever because I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I love what I do. I love the life that I have and the business that we've created. But like, fuck, man, I wish I had someone like Ben and Jace or just someone in my corner being like, this is how you should run things from the beginning. Because if I did, it's just like having a coach, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, this is how you should train to get results. This is roughly how long it's going to take, etc. I wish I just had that for business. Like, it would have made things so much better. And I'm not just saying that because, we're going into this space and whatever. It's literally just like, if I look back and if someone said, what would I do differently? It's like, I would have just fucking had a coach to tell me to, like, speak to this many people, focus on this week. This is how much ideally you need to be making right now. And even just the finance side of things, man. Like, no one tells you that, oh, you got to put money away for super. You got to do this. You got to do that. Like, I
remember when my first tax bills came through.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, where am I getting that money from? I was like, I don't have that.
Yeah.
Why? I don't have that.
Yeah.
Why are you charging me that?
Yeah.
And then I figured it out, obviously.
Yeah. Look, like, it's a learning experience and we obviously have come a long way since then. But, I started like you. First day was lockdown.
Yeah.
And then kind of went across and I was like chasing session. But I think in the pursuit of that, my quality of service was not great.
Well, it's just like, it's like saying how many cars can you wash in an hour? It's like,
yeah.
Well, volume isn't always the best.
Yeah, definitely. And then, the second lockdown happened and it was a bit more equipped for that, bro. Driving around all that equipment was the worst thing.
No wonder my car's fucked now.
I mean, I sold that car. I didn't actually sell it. I crashed it. No, it was a Hyundai i30.
Oh, the original.
The original i30. I crashed it. And then someone, like my stepdad, had a mechanic friend or a panel beater friend. He goes, oh, I could use that for my wife. He goes, you want 10 grand? He's like, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll take 10 grand.
Get it out of my sight.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, take it. And I got 10K for it. And I was like,
the rest is history.
Yeah, then I bought my car. Yeah, and then we went back to work and then it was just like, okay, I think the thing that changed mindset-wise was how can I make a phenomenal service that can handle the amount of people I want to actually service?
Yeah.
And then it's like you kind of go into content and social media and online and then you start niching down and now here we are. And now we've got a fucking podcast and businesses and whatever. But it's, man, it's like 4 years of PT. It goes quick, but it doesn't.
Yeah. It feels like it's fast and slow all at the same time.
100%.
So that explains the business side of things. But as for how you got into fitness, now we haven't covered that.
I don't know if we have.
That's all right. We're here now anyway. Our story. So we mentioned it briefly at the beginning, but how did you actually get into fitness? Because you posted it on your story the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I started training originally because I don't think I've actually ever said this like publicly.
And now's the time.
So
people got to know who you are, bro.
I remember when I was in year 7. I mean, you know how it is. Like, I think primary school. It's like this is indented.
Bro, we're going back to it.
Bro.
Now.
It's fucking indented. I mean, like you knew me. Like we trained with Andrew.
When did we meet? 14.
14, yeah. We trained with.
Those were fucking good years
at Andrew's house and whatever.
So for context, we had a mutual friend, Andrew. I don't know if Andrew ever listens to this.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah. He had the barbells and the dumbbells in his garage.
Yeah.
And Andrew was bigger than both of us.
No, he's a big boy. Yeah. He was a rugby player.
Right, I was skinny as.
Yeah,
I was a twig.
Skinny fat. I was chubby.
Yeah, I was a twig.
Yeah.
And you guys would just smash it in the gym, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" I'd get stuck under the barbell like every single day.
Yeah.
the 6-week end of year school holidays.
Yeah.
We cranked it in there.
Yeah, it was like every day.
It was mad.
It was fun. Yeah, it's like what training should be about at the core. Like it should just be hanging out with your mates and getting after it.
Yeah.
And that was my first exposure to training. I don't actually know what sparked that, to be honest. Like, I think what it was like in primary school, you're all about like who's sports, whatever. And then like you hit year 7.
Did you play sport as a kid?
No, not really. I played like fucking a bit of rugby, but soccer.
Like nothing outside of school?
No, not really. Basketball was probably the only thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that I really played a lot of. But yeah, it's like all sport, and it's like who's the best of sport, and then you hit year 7, and you're like, girls.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck. You're like, I wasn't ready for this. You're like, I've been trying to, for the past 6 years of primary school, get good at sport, and now I've got to learn how to talk to a female.
Yeah.
And I've got no confidence.
Trying to be the best athlete out of all my mates, and now none of them play, and they're just talking to you.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, how do I get the confidence to talk to it? I train.
Yeah.
So I remember like there was a girl in year 7 I liked, and I was not obviously very confident in myself, as any other bodybuilder would say about themselves. They started off very insecure.
And I think if you just look at any young male, like it's fuck.
Bro, I look at the clients I got now, like some of the young boys who are coming up, and I'm like, bro, you guys just need to back yourself a little bit. You know what I mean?
Hindsight's a powerful thing.
100%. And yeah, man, like, obviously, I didn't feel very confident in the way that I was approaching this person, and she went with someone who was a little bit more confident, had a bit of a rig on him, whatever. And I was like, well, I remember her brother, who's actually a PT, who we seen him at the gym.
Oh,
remember at World Gym?
Maybe.
He was speaking to us and his missus, and she was a photographer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bro, it was his sister.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I remember one time, I was like such a fucking little kid, bro. We were like messaging on whatever fucking message. It was like Kik or Skype or whatever.
Right.
And he goes, bro, just fucking get smart, get jacked and shredded, and everyone will love you. And I swear to God, bro, I held on to that for years. Like, I don't know why, but like it hit me hard.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm
This is
going to
it.
do this. And from there, bro, like, I was like, what can I do to be the most hugest cunt? And like, what can I do to be like the most confident, biggest in the room, whatever? And then obviously I found martial arts instead.
Mm.
And that was a different way for me to really express my, I guess, my insecurities. And then, yeah, I did that for 5 years, man. And that took me
Took you to Thailand.
to Thailand, moved to Thailand for what, 5 to 6 months, tried to compete like amateur into
Come,
professionally,
yeah.
and realized I didn't want to get punched in the face anymore. And yeah, then we just came back, found powerlifting. It was funny, man. Like,
You've been through a lot.
yeah, I did CrossFit for a bit as well. Like, there was a lot in between that. And
That
the funny,
CrossFit era was wild.
I know, the funny thing is that I find the most interesting about all these things was that at the core of it, I just wanted to look better. Like,
Interesting.
like when I did Muay Thai and whatever, I was like, I was still insecure with how I looked because I was super skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I did CrossFit, I built a little bit of muscle, but I was still like not as muscular as I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And then when I did powerlifting, I got so big that I didn't look good at all. And if I had just literally just gone to something like bodybuilding, which I think also at the time though mentally I was probably not ready for. Like the patience and the requirement that I have now.
But if we rewind, let's just take a step back. We rewind, what's that, almost 10 years ago?
Yeah, bro.
Fitness was a bit different back then. It was very much, I dare even say it like that Ziz era, stringers.
That's what got me into it, man.
Pre-workout, slammer, go train with the boys,
Yeah.
party palm.
I mean,
like
that's
the
what
thing
we're
about-
about now.
I love that shit now.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think if you were to expose, like, and boys now are, I don't want to exclude the girls, but generally, I see the boys now, they're falling back into that.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, yeah, do this and just you go and train. But it's like, you're not there yet. You need fundamentals.
Yeah, I think.
Whereas if we had the fundamentals back then, you could imagine what it would be like.
Well, I look at like just like the habits that I have now, and I'm like, well, the funny thing is I was willing to do everything to improve my physique, but the actual physique style training.
Yeah.
And I obviously know that now because I was always looking at when I was doing Muay Thai. I was like, Muay Thai workouts to improve my physique, CrossFit workouts to improve my physique. Like I was always like that guy on the internet. It's like, how can I make this about physique style training
When it should have been
when I should have just done physique style training?
physique style training for physique.
Yeah, literally. So I was always like, oh, like if I do Muay Thai, I'll get shredded. If I do CrossFit, I'll be jacked and shredded.
You didn't look bad, but it definitely, like, I can see how, and people do it now. They want to do everything apart from
The thing. Yeah, it's like, how can I dance around this thing without doing it?
Yeah, because if you, a lot of people think if you end up doing the thing and you don't get the result, that it's just like it's all, or you're going to be shit at the thing, and you're not going to be happy with the results, and then it's going to be like holding a mirror up because it's your own reflection of your efforts, right? So if you don't do the thing, then you can be like, oh well, it's okay because I haven't actually tried that thing yet.
Yeah. And then, yeah, man, look, like, I think once I found like physique style training and I stopped powerlifting and I was like, I just want to be jacked. And it was like, I decided the photo shoot thing. I forgot what actually brought that on. I think it was just like, yeah, like,
so I met you when you were like a cannonball.
Yeah, yeah.
We rekindled when you were a bit larger, bro, like 98.
No, I know, but I don't actually know why I got the idea for the photo shoot.
Changed coaches.
Yes, but that was for the photo shoot. So I went to him for the photo shoot. I was like, I went to him to do the photo shoot.
Right.
And
you don't know why though.
No, I don't know why. I remember like I was that's why. I found Eugene Teo. Yeah, I found Eugene Teo and he was still in his bodybuilding era.
It's huge.
It was big. Yeah, and I was like, okay, it was a lockdown. I really started getting into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Because the only style of training that was really available to me was that. So it was like pumps, this sort of stuff. And during that time, I started immersing myself into bodybuilding podcasts, learning about it. Because I was like, I really want to increase my skills as a coach.
I was in that time to learn.
It was mad, bro. I subscribed to every membership. I was on Joe Bennett, Eugene Teo's. Like I was just doing workshops. And I was learning about it. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to go do a photo shoot. And I remember I was like, I'm going to get on gear, do all this sort of stuff. And I was like, hold on a second.
Slow down.
Probably shouldn't do that. And then, I just got into that. And then, And once I found Jason, or you found Jason,
Yeah.
that was when it was like, oh, we're on. Like that's when I. It's funny, man, because like a big like, and I don't mean to. I don't think it's a red flag for everyone, but when I hear someone has a lot of coaches now, like I've been with this coach, I've been with that coach, it's a bit of a red flag.
Yeah.
I could not see myself with another coach because
technically, I started
100%.
your bodybuilding journey.
Yeah,
fuck, I'm good.
When I win the Olympia, you can. I'll mention you.
I'll be like,
honorable mention.
This is where it all started.
Yeah. And yeah, man, like once you find the relationship that clicks, because it's the same no matter where you go. Because the training and whatever that I had with the coach before, it was good. It was very similar, whatever. He just explained it to me a lot better. Jason did.
Yeah.
And
just how it's
I'm like, well, here we are. So I think if you have that coach that you really get along with and you can really communicate with on a good level, then just don't change it. Because you're not actually going to find anything elsewhere better.
Principles are the same.
Exactly. Yeah. But what about you?
Bro, it's weird because we, having known each other since like
I feel like we've gone parallel. Like we've
I just took
we've been side by side, but it's only now we've started to come together.
Yeah, so I played football like my whole life. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to be a physio. I thought I wanted to be an exercise sports scientist. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And university wasn't really, I don't know, it wasn't really calling my name. I didn't love the study side of things. Like I'm not dumb. I just like what I like.
I was the same, man.
Yeah, like I thought I wanted to be a tradie. I was like, I did
it. I went.
Yeah, I did 2 apprenticeships, and I was like, nah, I don't really want to do this. So then sacked that, and then I was like, oh, I play a decently high level of football at the time. I was like, why don't I just try my hand? Like I'll go to Europe or something. Like I'll just see what happens. Like what do I have to lose?
Yeah,
I don't have any.
I feel like we're very similar in that aspect of things where we're like, fuck it, just crack. Give it a crack.
I was working at the deli, like after, like when I was in year 11 and 12, like I was working at the deli, and literally that's all I was doing. I was, studying. Then I went to the deli, and that was it. And I was like, I don't have anything to lose here, so. And I was training like 6 times a week, trying to be as good as I could be, and I was fucking really good in the last year of representative football that I played. I was like, I'm going. I'm just going to go. There was a coach that I had at the time who was like, yeah, let's give it a go. He's like, I got this academy opportunity for you. You're going to go over there. I got some teams lined up. Like,
it's actually wild how similar our stories are in regards to, because same with Muay Thai. Someone was like, got a gym ready for you to come and leave that. It's just fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, and he goes to me, oh, come over. And I was like, all right, sweet. Got my Greek passport, which was a prerequisite. That was like, if I'm going, I'm going to go I need that passport.
Yeah.
So I got that. Then I went over. I think I only lasted literally like 4 months, bro. It was just, I was not ready for it in any aspect. Like I was definitely fit enough. My skills were good enough here. They definitely weren't good enough for European standard football. And I was a bit late to the boat. Like I was already 19.
Yeah, I mean,
like I was playing against 16-year-olds who were significantly better than me.
Yeah, I think when you get to that level, you soon realize that there is a big discrepancy between, even me, bro, like when I went to Thailand, it's like there's 15-year-olds who've already had 100 fights.
Yeah.
And the difference is, and I'm sure this case is the same for you, they're playing and they're fighting for a lot deeper reasons
100%.
Than while we're there. We're there because, we're pretty good at this, we'll give it a crack.
Yeah, my parents are ready to bring me home at the drop of a hat.
Whereas it's like their parents,
they don't eat.
Yeah, their parents are like, go because we're broke. Yeah. We got like dad's working 4 jobs, mum's working 3 jobs, and you live in a house of 12.
Yeah.
It's the same for soccer or Muay Thai.
Yeah.
The Thais and the Italians or whatever, I'm sure it's very, very similar.
Well, like that's if you're good enough, like okay, we're gonna do this, you're gonna do 100%. And I don't think I was 100%. I was good enough to hold my own in the men's competitions, like because they're kind of already established. So when I was playing, I played first grade for a bit at like a 7th division club. It was okay, but then they had turned around to me and said like, we're not going to pay you because we signed someone else. And I was like, but I came over here to play. They're like, yeah, so what?
Yeah, they're like, we don't.
They're like,
Yeah.
we have an opportunity to bring him on, so you're going to train with the youth. And I was like, right.
Yeah.
But the youth and the men's is wildly different. Like the youth were just shit. They were playing like it was our park football. And I was like, I'm not here for this. So I moved clubs. That didn't really change anything. I kind of got like a bit of experience, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I was just like, I was bored out of it in my head. I was like, I've checked out.
Yeah.
So there's really, and I got injured within like the first 2 weeks of being there. I rolled my ankle so fucking bad. Like it was like a balloon. And I said to my dad, I was like, I can't do this. And he was like, please just stay, just like try as hard as you can. Like, I know you're in a different country and like you got no mates. Like, and we were living, it was 3 in one room, like a room like this.
Yeah.
Sleeping in one room, single bed, and then one in the middle and one on there. And like,
just got no privacy. You don't have
no
time.
privacy, but also it's not, there's no camaraderie because you're all competing for the same spot.
Yeah, because you're on the same team, but if you're better than me, I don't get paid.
Correct.
I don't get signed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, man, like, and this is the thing, even to myself, it's like they're all running a business. Like, you know, if you own a team and you're managing a team, you're running a business. Yeah. And it's like, are you going to pay the dividends that I'm going to pay you?
Of course.
Yeah. So it's like, if you're not living up to the expectation of the contract and you're not playing the way we need you to win games, because that's essentially what makes us money, then why the fuck would we sign you?
Yeah. And when I realized that, I was like, okay, I thought it was going to be a much more, maybe brotherly is the word. Like you're going to
communal experience.
Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. But it's like, nah, this is dog eat dog, and everyone.
It ain't like
themselves.
The fucking movies like Bend It Like Beckham, where we're all fucking on the team, and
so really struggled with that, and I was like, okay, I need to cut. Like I tried to get good physio treatment, didn't have health insurance, so I was paying. Drove 3 hours to see a physio that apparently has seen like
Ronaldo.
Yeah, like the Brazilian Ronaldo like treated him. I was like, yeah, no. I need to go home back to Australia to get this treatment.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, I was like, I'm not fucking going again. And I had the ticket booked to go back, and I was like, cancel it. Said to my parents, I'm not getting on the plane. There's no way I'm leaving. I was like, as soon as I got back here, I was staying here. And then it was weird. I had that injury, and then I had like another, I sliced the bottom of my foot open, so I didn't play back here. And then got back into it a little bit, but I was a bit rusty. And then I did my ACL, and I was like, fuck me, all within like the space of 6 months. And I was like, this is fucked. And then obviously I couldn't play. Like if you do your ACL, it's at least 12 months, and that's like minimum.
That's like good recovery,
that's
good surgery.
You're doing everything you can.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Bit of TB 500, bit of T157.
I was doing physio 3 times a week. Like it was fucking insane. But I was like, if I want to play again, I'll have to do this. So I did it. But in the meantime, I was going to the gym here and there. Like when I was in Europe, I was still going to the gym. When I came back here and I had my knee surgery, I was like, well, I can still go to the gym. And I was very lean, skinny, however you call it. I was built like a greyhound.
Built like a soccer player.
I was just like, bro, there's a photo. I just have fucking abs on abs.
Like Messi when he started.
Yeah, like just nothing. Just like I could just run all day. And then I found the gym, and I was like, well, this is great because one, it scratches the itch of like I get to progress at something. Like
you feel like an athlete.
Yeah. Like you're in that environment. And I was like, hang on a second. I was like, but also I'm starting to look a little bit better, and I feel a little bit better. And then I just stuck with it, and I was like, okay, well, I got my knee surgery done. Can't play for like at least another year. Why don't I just do my PT certificate, and I can train people and I can teach them what I've learned. So I did my course while I had my recovery, all that kind of stuff. And then I was like, okay, well, now I'm going to go work, go fitness first. And then I just started from there. But then, like I was like, first year there, I was like, I don't really need a coach. I was like, I know what I'm doing. But then I'd never really made decent physique progress. Like you put on a little bit of size
when you start training, yeah.
But like the biggest thing for me was my nutrition. I got like a macro spreadsheet from Adam O'Mackey. Like I got that, and I was
it's funny because like the extremities, just starting training to someone who's at the top of a bodybuilding.
Well, I don't know how I think it was a like lockdown era, and I was like, I found him. mind you, context, massive bodybuilding coach. Like,
Yeah, trains like pros. And shit.
yeah. And I was like, oh, well, this guy fucking knows what he's talking about. I was like, this
Classic marketing.
This sheet is like $100. I'm gonna buy this and use this.
Yeah.
And in reality, I didn't follow it. So that's like the sheet is great. I still have it, but my application was fucking rubbish because
Which can be said for anything.
It was like 4,200 calories a day, and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. I was like, I can do that, and then I looked at it and I was like,
that's a lot of food.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I was barely eating like 2,000 calories.
Yeah.
You know, so I think like I was umming and ahhing and not really making much progress, and then I found Jason. And when I jumped on a call with Jason, I didn't message him, nothing, just pressed book call. We got on, and because I was doing standout, he was like, "You ready?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "No question at ifs or buts." He's like, "I know exactly what we're going to do. Let's go." I was like, "Yes, sweet." I gave him my credit card details at the time, left my debit card on the call. He signed me up straight away. In 2 days, we started training. Like I was so bought in before I even like started training with him. I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
And I look, so 3 years later or something. Yeah. 2-3 years later.
Crazy.
3-4 years later. And it's just there. It's just like, then, okay, we put 10 kilos on, put 15 kilos on, lose 5, put another 5. Like it's just been up and down. Now I finally look 10,000 times different than I did when I first started.
100%. And I do honestly believe in the next 12 months will be even better for you.
I already know that with the commitment that I have now.
Yeah. And I feel like, we've just found an extra gear.
Well, it's like you are more bought into the process the longer you do something. And it's hard because in the beginning, physique training is not, you don't get that instant gratification. And that's why people don't stick with it. And that's why that's like, when you said you were doing all these different things, like you don't see the result that you think you should get straight away. You're like, okay, I'm going to go try this. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this. And that's what I was doing. That's what you were doing. But then if you give the attention, all that attention that you're using for these 8 other things to that one process and you stick with it and you nurture it over time, because like obviously you have to take care of everything, your nutrition, your sleep, your training, whatever it is that you need to work on to get to your desired goal for the time, not your overall goal, but for the time, then this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to put your energy into that and not waver when things do get hard or if you don't see results. And that's something that I think in the beginning, I didn't do very well. I thought it was going to be more instant. And I was like, okay, like I'm not as big as what I thought I could be. But then again, comes back to my adherence and my application of said processes. And man, props to Jason. Like he could have easily said to me, like, you're not doing this. You're not serious. I don't want to train you. But at the time, you're just a kid. You're 21, 22, like going out, fucking drinking, eating like shit, just living life. Whereas like now, 25, about 25, you start to go, oh, this is like, and I think that's just a natural thing where it's just like, okay, now things need to get a bit more serious. 5 years away from 30. It's no longer, 30 is 10 years away. It's 5 years.
Yeah.
Which will become 3 and then 2 and then 1.
I mean, look at us, bro. Like we're talking about when we started training 15 to 10 years later.
It flies, right? And if you can compound the energy and the effort over that time that you're going to spend anyway, time's going to go. It's going to go whether
you may as well just put it into something that's actually conducive to the goal.
Yeah, time is going to pass regardless of what you do. You may as well put that into something that you know and is proven to get you where you want to be.
100%.
And that's why we've found bodybuilding or physique training. How are we building the body? Like,
I mean, look, like if you're someone who's like trying to increase muscle mass and reduce body fat, like you're bodybuilding.
Yeah.
That's what bodybuilding training really is. It's literally the increase of muscle tissue and reduction of fat tissue.
Yeah,
that's literally what bodybuilding is. You just don't compete. Yeah. I'm a big believer that you can be a bodybuilder and not compete, or at least live the lifestyle of one. And I think that's something that I've learned on my process with doing this show. It's like, I've never considered myself a bodybuilder or even an athlete for that matter. And I'm like, nah, I'm a bodybuilder. I'm an athlete. And, just because I don't take all the performance enhancing drugs or I don't, have a pro card or whatever it might be that might consider quote unquote someone to be a bodybuilder. It's like, I live that lifestyle, man.
Yeah. And, we've, Richard Physique Code says this is like, it is a healthy lifestyle take away the extremes of it, really low body fat.
Take away the 24 weeks of dieting.
Yeah.
Take away the force feeding.
Yeah,
You
like,
know,
there's parts of bodybuilding or physique training that
can be taken too far. But that can be said for anything, bro. Like look at your soccer.
Look at the Olympics.
Yeah, look
Same
at
thing.
your soccer career and everything. It's like
I was obsessed. I was getting up at 5 a.m. to go train at 6 a.m. for an hour and a half before I went to work. Like, but it got the result.
Yeah, and look at Muay Thai as well. It's like, oh, you probably get CTE and brain trauma, but like no one gives a fuck because it's like
world champ.
You're a world champion. Yeah, so it's like you can take all that stuff with a grain of salt. I think at the core, something like physique and bodybuilding training can be very healthy depending on where on the spectrum you choose to sit.
Yeah, and there's times to push and there's times to relax. You don't sit there and go, and people go, it's too much. It's obsessive. It's like it's obsessive because you are seeing the hardest part of the journey. You're not seeing the part where when we go out, we're both on growth phases. We get to have a social dinner.
Yeah,
we don't have to worry too much. We just go and we eat and we enjoy. Like you only see the hard part because that's the part that you're not willing to do.
I mean, like it's funny because like obviously my body's changed so much, at least in the past 6 weeks, like ridiculously, right? So a lot of my clients are having input like, oh, you shouldn't lose too much more. It's like, let me just break this down for a second. It's like, you mean to tell me that I can manipulate how I look based on my ability to show up to the gym and how I eat? Like I can literally just manipulate the way I present myself by doing that. That alone is just like, you're joking. Like it's so cool that I can fucking do that.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that easy, but it is.
Yeah, like all I got to do is this and this and follow this plan for X amount of time. And I will literally transform the way that I present to someone and how I look in the mirror.
Yeah, bodies are pretty cool.
Like it's fucking hectic. And if there's anything I've learned about this, it's, don't get me wrong. I'm going to be very transparent here. This has been a very difficult process and it's still not over. There are times.
The hardest part's coming.
There are times where I've been like, fuck, this is so hard. But I know so well that I fucking love it more than ever. It is so cool. Like, and I know that when the day I step on stage, it's going to be like, I've fucking done everything I can.
Yep.
And that to me is just like, I'll do it again and again and again until I can't.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a cool thing. Like I think more people would see amazing results in more aspects than one. Like it teaches you. Like we're both dieting. You've been dieting for way longer than I have.
I think I'm week 19 now.
Right. This is week 4.
Maybe 18.
3 or 4. I can't remember. How many weeks do you think?
It's 5 weeks, 5 days.
So this will be week 4 for me.
39 days, I'm pretty sure. 40 days.
It's just something that just has to be done. Like I say no to many things now. Like I formed a relationship with my girlfriend over food. Like that's a way for us to bond, and we haven't had to do that. But we found other ways to bond. Like she's now dieting with me. So like it shows you that there's things you can learn out of it.
I mean, look, how long we got?
This is 48 minutes.
Fuck, big one. I mean, I'll wrap it up in a nice little bow with this, and I think you really start to learn who your circle is when you start to pursue things that are really good for you. When you start, like for us, for example, when we've started pursuing business as much as we have, we find that our friends change. When we've started to pursue training and nutrition the way we have, we've started to see our friends change. Or people say must be nice, or people say looking good, or lucky you, whatever. It's like you will be very surprised in who you can become, what you can do when you adopt that mindset of just trying to be a better person. Look after yourself, have respect for yourself, show up to your training, don't take no for an answer when it comes to your nutrition, and you back yourself. Like all of a sudden the mates that you would hang out with on the weekend who'd be like, oh, you're a sick cunt, come have another beer, and you start saying no to that, oh, you've changed, bro. It's like, well, yeah, I fucking have. You should too. Man, I can't tell you, if we're talking about our story here, my friendship circle has changed so much based off that, because I've had to say no to things, but it's because of that I am where I am, and I am where I'm going, like I don't want to sound like a fucking mindset coach, but like, because I'm definitely not. But I do think in the pursuit of physique training, you do very much create a mindset of someone who holds themselves to a high standard, an athlete per se. So if you can take anything from our journeys, is that it's been a long one.
Turbulent is the best word to put it.
It's been difficult, but like I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, I think if I hadn't had gone through a lot of those things, I wouldn't know. Yeah, it would just make me a different person. I wouldn't have the experience that I do today to be able to face certain things. Like me now, this diet thing is nothing compared to being alone at 11:30, walking home from training. It's nothing in comparison. Like, yes, it seems hard at the time. And we're talking about this mindset. It seems hard at the time. You can't eat what you want, but in reality, it's really fucking easy. Like it's not even on the scale of difficult.
Yeah.
It's just because you can't have what you want. So, yeah, those are our stories. We've been through the ringer. That's why we're here now. We make really good coaches.
That's why you should buy our coach.
That's why you should come coach with us. But yeah, if you can take anything away from that, we have experience probably more than the average 25-year-old in terms of.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah, an approach to training and how we got into it, and also our coaching careers as well. So if you do resonate with this, please be sure to leave us a like, a comment, share it on your stories. We do appreciate the support.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
Ciao.